Hello there. Hola, mis amigos. Hello, my friends. My name is Princess Elena of Avalor. Actually, maybe you haven't heard, but I'm now Queen of Avalor. In Spanish, we say Reina Elena Castillo de Flores de Avalor. Queen Elena Castillo Flores of Avalor. And I'm so honored to be reading with you today. I want to say a special thank you to our Warren Newport Public Library of Gurnee friends for inviting us to read today for you. I'm so excited to be here and to be reading some stories with you. And I hear we're celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. It's septiembre, and that is a month to celebrate my culture and many other cultures around the world. So we'll talk a little bit about that today too. Maybe I'll teach you a little bit of Spanish. I'm also going to sing a song before we're done, so we're going to have so much fun, and I'm so excited. Let's start off by reading a story. Does that sound good? Wonderful. Let's get our first story started. I have my royal scepter here to show everyone. This is my royal scepter. It has magical powers, so I keep it nice and safe just in case Shariki or anybody else seems to turn back up. And here's the first story that we're going to read. And you can see I'm wearing my same red dress and my crown, just like I am today. This is my favorite dress and crown. Even though I'm queen now, I still like to wear this one. It's my favorite. And this is about my first day of rule. So this is my story, Elena of Avalor, first day of rule. So this took place 3 years ago. So I will read the words and then I will show you the pages, all right? It was Princess Elena's first full day as Avalor's new leader. That's me. This was right after I came out of Princess Sophia's amulet. Do you remember that? Wonderful. I know you all have such a great memory. Her Jacqueline friends, Skylar, Luna, and Miggs, raced to the palace to greet her. Hearing the Jacquelines outside her room, Elena joined them on the balcony and greeted them with a smile. Well, good morning. And in Spanish we say, Buenas tardes. Can you say that? Buenas tardes. Good morning. And so I said hello to my Jacqueline friends. Do you see them? There's Luna, Miggs, and Skylar. And Skylar is the one that I like to fly on. We'll read more about him. Miggs said he was sorry if he had woken her up. Woke me up? I barely slept last night. I mean, how are you supposed to sleep the night before you become queen? Elena then reminded the Jacquelines they were invited to the royal ball that night to see her get her crown. I'll see you tonight. Like everyone else in the kingdom, the Jacquelines were thrilled that the evil Queen Shariki was gone at last. The majesty of Avalor had returned. That was me and my family, mi familia. Skylar jokingly struck a pose, mimicking the Jacqueline that was now back on the kingdom's flag. Luna couldn't help laughing, but Miggs just shook his head. What do you think of that? Is that pretty silly? Yeah, you see them goofing around. Those Jacquelines, they love to sing, and they like to fly and be silly. So they're a lot of fun. Back in her room, Elena was surprised to see Zuzo, the spirit fox, checking up on her. I thought I couldn't see spirit animals unless a wizard conjured them up. Maybe when you get out of the amulet, you took some of its magic with you. Zuzo explained to Elena that she could use her magic to call upon him for an extra helping of spirit advice anytime. In fact, I'm going to hit you with some right now. If you don't get downstairs right away, you're going to be late for breakfast. Silly Zuzo. Zuzo's my spirit guide. Can you see him? Yeah. Only I can see him because of the magic. At breakfast, Elena's grandfather, Francisco, had some surprising news for her. Elena would not be crowned Queen of Avalor that night after all. Elena's cousin, Esteban, was more than happy to explain that she was too young to become queen. And this was my very first story, remember? So this was 3 years ago, before I was queen. I thought I was going to be queen this day. Look, there's my abuela. That means grandma in Spanish. And I love her very, very much. She was trapped in a painting. Do you remember that? Yeah, she was trapped inside a painting. And so was my sister Isa and my abuelo, my grandfather, Francisco. But now we're all a happy family again. But I wasn't very happy right here, was I? I was like, why am I not going to be queen today? I don't understand. Let's keep reading to find out more. Do you know what happens next? Yeah? Let's continue reading. Too young? I was trapped in that amulet for 41 years. Elena's grandmother Luisa gently explained that because Elena hadn't aged, she was technically still only 16. Francisco stated kindly but firmly that until Elena came of age, she must rule as crown princess with the help of a grand council who would approve all her decisions. And there's my cousin Esteban. And there's my grandfather, my abuelo Francisco. And my cousin Esteban didn't want me to be queen, right? So he was pretty happy about all this. Elena couldn't believe her ears. I have to get permission to rule? Francisco explained that ruling a kingdom was not simple, but that one day Elena would gain the wisdom of a great ruler. Elena crossed her arms stubbornly. But I don't think I need a grand council. I'm ready to rule now. Do you remember then, my abuela, when I sang a song? And I know I'm ready to rule, though you think I've got learning to do. Do you remember that song? Yeah, my abuela, when I sang it. And he said that I'm not ready to rule yet. Well, then Elena left the dining room, pausing beside a painting of her parents. Papa, how will I show them I can be as good a leader as you? Then Elena looked out the window at Avalor City, gleaming in the sunlight, and an idea struck her. Of course! I will meet with all the city leaders and make sure they have what they need to restore our kingdom to its former greatness. That was my great idea. You see, there's me looking at the painting of my mama and papa, my mommy and papa. Those are my parents, my mom and dad. I miss them very much. With no time to waste, Elena asked Gabe, a royal guard, to take her and her sister Isabel into town. Their first stop was the harbor, where Elena met with Captain Turner, the harbor master. Is there anything you need to make the port run better? The captain was just about to reply when his daughter, Naomi, interrupted. Another ship's gone missing. It's the third ship that's been stolen today. That sounds like a mystery, right? Ships being stolen? And look, there's the harbor master, Captain Turner, and his daughter, Naomi. And she becomes my best friend, doesn't she? Do you all know Naomi? You do? That's wonderful. I'll be sure to tell her you said hello. 3 ships in one day? We'd better start looking for them right away. But Esteban insisted that the harbor patrol would handle it. Frustrated, Elena had no choice but to give in to her cousin. He did not want me to help, did he? And there's stubborn Esteban. You see him in Avalor City, and my sister Isa. And there's Gabe, the royal guard. I don't know, 3 ships going missing in one day? Do you think that's pretty mysterious? I do. Isabel wanted to stay behind and sketch the ships. My sister likes to draw, and she likes to invent, but maybe you already knew that. Gabe offered to watch over her, so Elena continued with her tour of the city. As Isabel was sketching, she noticed something strange. Why are dogs boarding a ship? Let's go investigate. Gabe scrambled after her. Princess! I told Gabe to look after Isabel, so he followed her onto the ship. My sister was right. There were strange purple dogs boarding the ships, all by themselves. So they hopped onto the ship. Hidden behind a barrel on the ship, Gabe and Isabel watched as the dogs flipped in midair and shape-shifted into strange spotted purple creatures. Gabe had never seen anything like it. What are those things? I don't know! Suddenly, the creature spotted Gabe and Isabel, and before the 2 of them could even think about running, they found themselves tied up. Uh-oh. Have you ever been tied up by a bad guy before? I would hope not. But if you were, I'd try my best to fly on Skylar to save you. And you see what's happening? They were hiding. But then the purple guys found them. Do you know who these purple friends are? I think we're going to find out if you don't know already. Meanwhile, in the Via Mercado, Elena tried to keep up as Doña Paloma, the most powerful merchant in Avalor, dictated a list of her money requests. Now, maybe some of you don't know Spanish, so I'll help explain what those words kind of mean for you. So Doña is how we kind of say madam. It's a form of respect for a lady. So Doña Paloma is almost like saying Lady Paloma, and Paloma is her name. She's a very, very wealthy merchant who does a lot of trading in Avalor, so I have to be on my best behavior with her, even when she's being a little bit rude. A princess always has to be kind, right? And the Via Mercado is our marketplace. Mercado means market in Spanish, and a marketplace is where we sell fruits and food and all sorts of beautiful things, really. things that we find from far away. We trade with different ships that come in, and part of what makes my kingdom so special is all the boats that come in from all around the world with special things, and we sell them at the Via Mercado. So I had to meet with her and talk with her. As I was taking notes, Naomi ran up to me. She had seen the strange creatures sailing out of the port. "Another ship was stolen," she said, "and your sister was on it." "My sister Isa." I had just gotten her back, too. Remember out of the painting? "Isabel, I just got Isa back. I can't lose her again. I never should have left the harbor." What do you think? Do you think I'm going to be able to get my sister back? You do? Thanks for your confidence in me. Let's read and see what happens. And there's me and Doña Paloma. You can tell she's a wealthy lady because she has a fancy dress and a feather on her head. And there's Esteban and Naomi running after me. Elena spotted her Jacqueline friends up in the sky and called for help. "If I'm going to rule this kingdom, I can't be afraid of taking on a few thieves." She turned to Naomi. "Come on, Naomi. You're the only one who knows what the ship looks like." Naomi gulped. She'd never ridden on a Jacqueline before. But Elena would not take no for an answer. "You'll be fine." Have you ever ridden on a Jacqueline? You haven't? You have to come to Avalor and fly on one. It really isn't scary. It's so much fun. But Naomi was scared on her first day. I told her to hop on. I wonder what's going to happen next. "This is so not fine," Naomi screamed. As the Jacqueline soared through the sky, Naomi held on to Luna for dear life. Elena frantically searched the ocean below, but there were no ships in sight. Finally, Naomi was able to calm down enough to tell Elena about the ship thieves. They were these weird purplish creatures. Do you have any idea what they are? Elena shook her head. "No, but I know someone who might." We were flying up in the sky, and see the ship was down below. Who do you think I know that would know about enchanted creatures? Any young wizards come to mind? Maybe you know my friend. We're about to introduce him. There's Naomi, flying on Luna. She's a little bit scared, but Luna's a good flyer. Elena took Naomi to see Mateo, the young wizard in training who had helped her defeat Shariki. Do you remember my friend Mateo? He's a great friend, and he's my royal wizard now, isn't he? Mateo assured them that they had come to the right place since his grandfather, the royal wizard Alcazar, had written a book about the magical creatures in Avalor. So he's ready to help us. He knows all about enchanted creatures. So we're going down the steps. This is where he keeps all of his magical books and things like that. The book explained that the purple creatures were called noblins. They could transform into dogs and had the power to turn objects into gold. Elena continued reading. It says the noblins live deep in the jungle and never stray far from home. That's why we didn't see the ships in the ocean, because they took them up on the river. And there we are, reading the book, figuring out what's going on. So the noblins could change their shape. Do you know what a shapeshifter is? It's a magical creature who can make themselves look like anything. The noblins were really little goblins, but they turned themselves into dogs for a disguise. It made them tricky. As Elena burst from Mateo's library, determined to take charge and rescue her sister, Zuzo suddenly appeared. Remember Zuzo? Elena brushed past him. "I'm sorry, Zuzo. I'm kind of in a hurry." "Well, that's actually part of the advice," he said. But Elena didn't even slow down to listen. I was in a hurry. Maybe I should have stopped to listen, but I really wanted to get my sister back. Aboard the stolen ship, Gabe noticed that the Noblin leader took a sharp turn at the fork in the river. Uh-oh, this is not good. The more twists and turns we make, the harder it will be for anyone to find us. Isabel thought for a moment. I have an idea. My sister always has great ideas. She's so very smart. There she is with Gabe. I wonder what her idea is going to be. Elena and her friends flew upriver into the jungle, searching for signs of the missing ship. Suddenly, Elena spotted something below. "There's something in the water!" Skylar dipped down closer to the river for a better look. "It's a page from Isabel's journal. She must be leaving us a trail." That was pretty smart of my sister, wasn't it? She was ripping out pages in her book to help us find the way. Now we could follow the paper trail on the water. Elena followed the trail of pages all the way to the ship and jumped aboard. Isabel was overjoyed to see her sister. "Elena, you came for me." "I'm never losing you again." and with a flash of her sword, Elena freed Isa and Gabe. Here I am to the rescue with my sword. This was before I knew how to use my magic scepter. But they weren't out of danger yet. When the Noblins saw their captives trying to escape, they surrounded the intruders. On impulse, Elena turned and faced the Noblins. Isabel was afraid for her sister. "What are you doing?" "Taking back our ship." Elena stood her ground and addressed the Noblins. "As the future Queen of Avalor, I order you to leave this vessel at once." I was hoping they would listen to me, since I was about to be the queen. What do you think? Do you think they're going to listen? Here's the Noblins. They're kind of cute, aren't they? But the leader of the Noblins was not intimidated by Elena. He declared that he would never let his Noblins be captured again. Then all of the feisty little creatures pounced. Elena and her friends were no match for them. The Noblins were just about to throw Elena overboard when she spotted a rope. Look, they were going to throw me overboard. And Naomi, too. Oh, and one of them's covering Gabe's eyes. Uh-oh. What are we going to do? Elena grabbed the rope and swung to safety. She was just catching her breath when Zuzo appeared once again. "Why are you in such a rush?" he said. "Did you ever stop and think why the Noblins took the ships in the first place?" Elena looked at her spirit guide. "No, but you're right. I should have. I was so busy trying to prove I could be a great queen, I forgot to act like one." And that's what a spirit guide is for. He's there to give me advice and help me make the right choices. With a new purpose, Elena swung down from the mast and faced the Noblin leader. "I should have asked before, but why are you taking our ships?" Then Elena listened, as the Noblins told me about how the evil Shariki had imprisoned them in Avalor for many years, forcing them to turn objects into gold. Now that they were finally free, they had stolen the ships only because they needed a way to get back home. Elena felt bad, but now that she knew the truth, she decided to make a royal decree. "You can borrow our ships to take you home, as long as we get them back after." Overjoyed, the Noblins all clapped and cheered. Thanks to Princess Elena, they were going home at last. And I let them borrow our ships, because it's nice to borrow things to your friends, isn't it? Do you ever borrow your friends toys or some things that they might like to play with, and then you just say, "Give it back to me when you're done," right? That evening at the ball, Elena looked out at her royal subjects and at her family and addressed them. "Today I set out to prove that I was ready to be Queen of Avalor, and I learned that I have a lot to learn before I become queen." She took the royal scepter in her hands and continued, "So with that in mind, I'm ready to appoint my Grand Council." Here's my scepter. Do you know what a Grand Council is? It's a special group of people I chose to help me make royal decisions, until I'm queen, of course. Elena chose Luisa, her grandmother, my abuela, for her positive spirit, my grandfather Francisco for his wisdom, my cousin Esteban for his knowledge of the kingdom, and Naomi, my new best friend, for her concern and resolve. Francisco nodded at his granddaughter with pride, for she had acted like a true queen. And there's my family and everyone I chose for my Grand Council. And there's me in the same dress I'm wearing right now with my scepter and my crown. As the crowd cheered, Zuzo popped in to check on the new crown princess. "Not bad for your first day, but are you ready for day 2? Elena turned and gave Zuzo a look. "Are you? Oh, this is going to be fun." And that was my very first day of rule. Thank you so much for reading that wonderful story with me. Reading is truly one of my favorite things to do. There's a lot of things I like to do. And before I sing a song for you, I just want to talk a little bit about what it's like to be Hispanic and why we should honor Hispanic Heritage Month. Even here in Avalor, we honor Hispanic Heritage Month every September. There are many, many countries, just like Avalor, that are Hispanic. Being Hispanic means you speak Spanish and you're a part of the culture. We have wonderful, delicious foods in Avalor. Every culture is different, so they may have different ways of making their tamales or enchiladas. Maybe they make salsas in different ways. Who knows? Maybe they celebrate Dia de los Muertos, which is our Halloween, Day of the Dead, where we honor those who've passed on. Some do and some don't. What's important to remember is that we should respect every single culture and every person from around the world. I'm very proud to be Hispanic, and if you're Hispanic, you should be proud too. And if you're not, you should be proud of whatever it is that you are, because we'll celebrate your culture sometime too. I am very, very excited that I get to make this special, special message for you. And I really love to sing. Do you remember when I was trapped inside Princess Sophia's amulet? And she had to get me out? I was trapped in there for 41 years. It was a very, very long time. Mucho, mucho tiempo. That means a very long time in Spanish. So when I finally got out, I sang a song, and I think you might know it. It's called My Time. Do you think I'd be able to sing it for you? And if I sing it for you, will you sing it with me? Juntos? Together? That would be wonderful. Let's listen for the music. I'll press the button on my magical music player, and I'll be right back to sing with you. All right, are you all ready to sing? Let's listen for the music and we'll sing together. It feels so weird having my feet on the ground. It's been a while since I've been walking around. With my own eyes, I can once again see my dream has come true. I am free. Dance if you'd like. But now that I'm here, there's a mission at hand to drive that witch out of our beautiful land. I'll banish the darkness and bring back the light, 'cause this time I'm ready to fight. This is my time to face my old foe. My time to reclaim what was ours long ago. My time to stand up with honor and pride. My time, I've come too far to be denied. Can we all fly on our jacquelines? Let's pretend. Now off I must fly to the palace once more to win back the freedom of all Avalor. I've spent my whole life waiting just for this day, and nothing will get in my way. This is my time. I have a plan that can't fail. My time. I won't stop till I prevail. My time to honor my family and friends. My time, this is my time once again. This is my time once again. Thank you so much for singing my song with me. That was truly so much fun, and I loved reading with you and teaching you a little bit about my culture in Avalor, some of the things that we do, and some of the Spanish words that we say. I encourage you to have a wonderful Hispanic Heritage Month and a great time reading. Don't forget that no matter what troubles we're facing in our kingdoms, it's our duty to make sure we make the right choice and try to see the positive side. Even if things aren't going great in your day, you can always pick up a magical book and sail away to a different land. That's what I love about books. I hope you enjoyed this special message, and I hope you liked the story and song. I hope I'll see all of you in Avalor soon. Since I'm the queen now, we'll be accepting visitors very, very soon. I'll see you later. Hasta luego. Goodbye. Adios.